Build Back Better. Joining us now to share his thoughts is the national spokesman for the RNC, Paris Dennard. Paris, welcome back to the National Desk.
Thanks for having me. Good to be with you.
Economists, as we know, expected 1 million jobs to be added in April. We got about a fourth of that at 266,000, and the unemployment rate did tick up a bit. How did they get it so wrong, do you think? And what's your assessment of where the jobs market is currently?
Well, I think ultimately the experts got it wrong because they were listening to Joe Biden. President Biden was telling the American people things are great. America is back. The economy is strong. My plans in terms of these so-called stimulus and infrastructure plans and these American bankruptcy plans is what I like to look at them as. He said they were going to be working, but they're not. He thought $1,400 was going to work to get the jobs up and get the economy back, but it's not. And so what the reality for working Americans is that with schools being closed, with the economy still being on lockdown, small business unable to find people to work, and people can't get back to work, we saw 1.5 million women lose their jobs or remove themselves from the workplace because they had to take care of their children because schools are still closed. And so we have a problem with President Biden's view of what this country is going through and what's actually happening on Main Street. And what's actually happening on Main Street is that people are not able to get back to work because of these confusing mandates and restrictions, schools being closed. And when you look at the fact that I just wrote it down here, 18,000 manufacturing jobs were lost, no construction jobs. This is not a boon for the blue-collar worker. It's actually the opposite. Blue-collar workers and everyday Americans are hurting and suffering because Joe Biden is literally squandering the recovery that he inherited from President Trump and congressional Republicans.
Paris, I want to bring up a tweet that you posted following the new jobs report. You wrote, quote, "With the unemployment rate increasing to 10.4% for black men, the April jobs report showed how bad the Biden economy is. If Biden continues to squander the economic recovery he inherited from the Trump administration, there will be no way the black community will ever build back better." What should the Biden administration focus on, do you think, to build up the jobs market?
Yeah, one of the things that we have to do is we have to open up the schools. We saw that the CDC was listening to the teachers' unions in terms of putting out the guidance by which they were going to open up schools. We've got to follow the data, the facts, and the science. And if the Biden administration truly followed the data, the facts, and the science, our schools will be open full-time, in person, 5 days a week. That alone would allow working parents and especially single mothers out there who we just celebrated on Sunday, all mothers would be able to get back into the workforce. Working men would be able to get back in the workforce if they knew that their children could be in school. Second thing is these confusing regulations and mandates have got to go away because they're not going to be able to work because the economy and jobs are still going to be shut down, and the capacity issue. If you have a small restaurant and you only can have 5 people in there at a time, there's no way you can make up for it. And the last thing that we need to do is have an administration that's pushing for increased taxes. Because when all of these programs and bills are said and done, $6 trillion worth of bills and things, about $3 million worth of new taxes or increased taxes. That's not the way that you help our economy, small businesses, entrepreneurs, and restaurateurs.
And Paris, while you're here, I want to get your take on what's transpiring right now with Congresswoman Liz Cheney. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said yesterday, any member can take whatever position they believe in. What we're talking about is a position in leadership. As conference chair, you have one of the most critical jobs as a messenger going forward. What's your thoughts and what's the RNC's position on this? Are there any Republicans in the House who continue to support Congresswoman Liz Cheney in her position of leadership?
Well, we are a big tent party and people have difference of opinions, and we're going to leave it up to congressional Republicans in leadership to determine who should lead the conference. What the RNC is going to make sure that we are doing is focusing on the American people. We'll let the people, our friends on the Hill, figure out what they want to do in terms of their leadership, but we're going to be laser-like focused on the American people, the ones that are being left out of this Biden economy and the ones that are really struggling right now.
Do you support
and we're going to give them
her?
answers.
Do you support removing?
Yeah, good question. The RNC does not get involved in those races, just like we don't get involved in primaries. We focus on who is the nominee. And so ultimately what happens is up to the congressional leadership, and we will support whatever the end decision is going to be because we believe we're going to have to move forward, united as one.